Folks, welcome back to Conversations.
Conversations.
I'm Ben,
I'm Ryan.
and we're about to have some conversations.
Yeah, it's been a while. How you been?
It's been a while. See, I don't even know how to start an episode, bro.
It's so weird. It's so
been
awkward.
How long has it been? Has it been a few weeks?
A couple of months. I don't know.
Couple
yeah,
months?
a couple of weeks.
Nah, come on, bro.
No, how was that? Where were you up to?
I was gone. I was gone last week. I was in India.
India.
In India,
Mm-hmm.
the country.
What part of India?
I was in Chennai
Chennai.
and then Mumbai.
Chennai, Mumbai.
Second time there, and it was for one, the travel to Mumbai is brutal, bro. It's
16 hours. What?
23 hours.
One full freaking day.
Well, yeah. So I left from LAX to Doha, Qatar. That was like 15 and a half hours.
Okay.
I had like a 2-hour layover in Doha, and then from Doha to Chennai was like a 4-hour, 50-minute flight. So like literally I'm traveling for an entire day.
Damn.
And I don't do well on planes. I don't sleep well on planes. I think I feel like it's the pressurized cabin.
Yeah.
My
Or
joints
being,
and I don't know. I could sleep fine in a car. Like if I'm in a car, I could sleep for like straight up the whole. If we're going to like San Francisco, I'll sleep the whole way. But like on a plane, for whatever reason, like I'll sleep in like
Patches.
30-40 minute increments. If I sleep for like an hour and a half, that's like an accomplishment. I was like, whoa, I actually slept an hour and a half straight. I can't do more than that.
That's weird because every time we traveled in the past, I would be the one wide awake with the turbulence, and I'd look over and all you guys are passed out. So
then you probably caught me in my little
Maybe,
40 minute window.
maybe. Shoot, dude, I thought I was the only
Your
one.
turbulence stories are funny. We'll get to that. No, but like
Funny.
so yeah, I took an afternoon flight out. So that's the hard part. When you leave in the afternoon, you're not even tired. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause you're leaving at like 1 p.m. So I'm like, wide awake, and I'm watching as many movies as I can, taking down, whiskey to try to like get a sleep flow going.
Mm-hmm.
Knocked out for maybe about an hour after about like 6 hours of just like being awake. And then, my body just starts stiffening up, bro. Like I don't know, my circulation's bad. So like when I'm in a position and I'll like sleep, I'll just wake up because I need to adjust myself. And then, so that's kind of that was my whole travel to
23 hours. That's
23
rough.
hours. I'm just like waking up, freaking going in the
What's
back.
the time difference?
So in Chennai, it's weird, bro. It's like 13 and a half hour difference. I don't know where that extra half hour difference is. It's weird. But like, yeah, so how I needed to calculate time back at home when I was there, I had to subtract 2, add 30. Meaning, if it was like 11 p.m. over there, I had to subtract 2, which is 9, and then add 30, so it's 9:30.
Oh, that's not.
But that's like, so 11 p.m. would be 9:30 a.m. here. It's weird.
Yeah.
So
that's a weird. 1.5.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. But I mean, yeah, the travel was brutal. The trip itself was interesting. It was like I was there for work, so I was out there judging the competition, and then from there I was there for 3 days, and then flew from there to Mumbai, and I taught a workshop in Mumbai.
Yeah.
And then from there I flew back. Well, I flew back from Mumbai to Chennai to Doha, Doha back to LA. It was just brutal travel, bro. It was like a crazy day.
No.
Dude, it's different out there, man. This is my second time out there. First time out there teaching. So it was cool to be able to witness like the dance community out there.
Hip hop's big over there, huh?
It is. And there's a lot of talent out there. Like there's a lot of dope talent.
Oh, dance is in there.
Well, they have Bollywood out there.
Yeah, what I'm saying is it's ingrained in their like society, like
culture.
dancing.
Yeah.
Culture.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Dancing
cultural dances and stuff.
It's cool.
But dude, it's different, man. It's different out there.
What was the difference? Like culture shock, like that?
Yeah, no, for real, like heavy. So like, okay, for one, they're a highly, because of a lot of the religions out there, a lot of people are vegetarian because a lot of people don't eat meat.
Cows or whatever.
And especially cows.
Sacred, yeah.
So speaking of cows, bro, you see cows just roaming on the sides of streets like they're, cats. Like cows just roaming around.
Yeah.
And
no one messes with them.
They don't mess with them.
Yeah.
Because they're considered to be like sacred.
That's like the chickens in Hawaii.
In Hawaii, like sacred, I guess. Like, yeah. So you're not gonna find a lot of beef out there. There is some, but it's not common. So when we're in Chennai, we visited this temple called the Shore Temple, and it was like this far drive. Traffic in India is a whole other story, man. Traffic is insane. There's the street lines and all that. That's just there for like decorative purposes, because like nobody abides by that.
Oh yeah, that's how
it's straight up organized chaos.
That's like most other countries with driving is like.
Philippines is like that, and I
Brazil.
heard
You remember Brazil was like that?
Yeah, and I heard Indonesia's like that. So yeah, maybe
Thailand too.
Maybe we're the crazy ones that don't drive like that. Anyway, so we go out to this temple. By the time we get there, the place is closed. So we're like, okay, we already made our way out here. Like, what else can we do? And we're like, oh, let's just go around the temple. So there's like this like marketplace, like a bazaar thing. And so we're like, all right, let's just like, and then they're like, oh yeah, there's a beach over there. Let's go look at the beach. So I'm there by myself, but I met this other dude out there who was another international judge. So it was both of us. And we're being, kind of the tourists, and they're trying to show us around. And so we get out of the car, and then again, there's just cows everywhere. I get out of the car, there's this giant freaking cow pie just right in front of me, and I was like, okay, I gotta.
Is that sacred too?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I wasn't trying to step in it.
Here, just put it on your face.
No, hell no.
No, I know.
And so like I see that, and then I'm like, all right, let me avoid these landmines here. And so I'm seeing kids running around everywhere. And then I like look to my right, and I just see this little girl. She's probably like 4 or 5 years old, just squatting and just taking a dump.
Whoa.
Just taking a dump, and then and it's just like in public. And then I'm gonna assume it was her little brother or her brother goes behind her with like this tub of water and just starts scrubbing her sister's but like. They had like smiles on their face, and I was just like, "Whoa, that's different."
That's
like,
different.
Because like nobody's looking at them like you guys shouldn't be doing that. It was just like this is just what it is, And then
you were the weird one. You're like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I'm like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And it's just like in public. This is just like we just parked our car. We're in a parking lot, and this is just like happening in a parking lot. And so we go, through this marketplace. People are selling, food, like street food and stuff. I'm like. I'm good, man. I'm gonna chill out on the street food, and there's
you gotta get in it, dude.
Man,
you gotta get in it because
that's how you get sick, bro.
It's the ones that are like, all timid. You gotta just be like, like how the locals do it,
Nah,
that's
dog. Nah, dog.
That's why I always get diarrhea when I go to
exactly.
my travel.
So all kinds of interesting smells.
Okay,
I'll say that. There's a lot of interesting smells. I'm not used to it. I'm not bashing it. It's just not used to that. You know what I'm saying? And then we get to the beach, and like the beach is like, oh cool, it's a beach. We have beaches here. You know, take a look at the temple, snap a couple photos. And as we're walking back, there's like a group of like 6 boys. They just run out like kind of like in front of us as we're walking through this like grass field, trying to avoid the landmines, and they just like. It was like a group activity. They just like, looked at each other like 1, 2, 3. They just pulled their pants, just all started peeing, like just in a row. They just like a group pee. And so like they were just peeing, and they're like, dude.
It had nothing to do with you. It wasn't because you guys were walking. It was you just happened to be in their synchronized pee.
Yeah. Like that's just they're hanging out. The homies, the homies hanging out like, yo, let's go take a piss together. And they all just, go out. And they're just like peeing, and it's just. Not behind a bush, not on a wall. It's just like on the grass in front of everybody. And I was like, wow.
I like this place.
It was
I get in trouble for doing that kind of stuff here. So
it's frowned upon.
It's frowned upon
out here.
I like it
in these streets.
I might need to go to Mumbai and.
Yeah, that was Chennai, man. So it was. I would say it was a good life experience. Good life experience. a little bit uncomfortable at times, but you know, that's what life experiences do. You know, sometimes you got to step out of your comfort zones and like experience different cultures.
You eat all the food, everything that was
So,
offered to you?
we had our first meal there. They wanted, well, they asked us. They're like, "What do you guys want to eat?"
You're like, I want a steak.
They have that. They have like Outback Steakhouses and they have Chili's out there.
What the? Really?
Yeah, they do. We didn't go to Chili's. I really wish we did. I would love to see an Indian Chili's. But we're like, no, like let's experience like some authentic Indian cuisine. So they're all right. So they took us to this place called like Spice of India or something like that. And we sat down for like a very authentic meal. So like they bring out like this like platter, but there's like a giant banana leaf on there, and they're like, "Have you guys had Indian cuisine before?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have." You know, they're like, the way to do it is we eat with our hands. You know, like just everything is with your hands. And I was like, "Ooh,
COVID."
Well, yeah, in my head, I'm thinking COVID's kind of a thing still in my head, and I'm like, "Yo, I don't quite want to eat with my hands. Do you guys have silverware?" You know, yeah, if you guys need silverware, we could give it to you. So like, for us,
disrespectful.
us American. Well, I'm American. My boy Adrian, who's out there, he's from Canada. So the American and the Canadian were like, "Yo, can we get some silverware?" So we ate with our silverware, but like the food was good. Lots of spice, which I love. I'm about that spice. But what I learned about Indian cuisine is very hearty. Lots of stew type foods. Curries, bread, carb heavy. And so, me, dude, I'm all like carb conscious and stuff. So I was like, I'm here, man. I'm gonna just eat this like naan bread, which is bomb. It was really good.
Yeah. It's like a thick tortilla.
But after that meal, I was like, I think I've kind of had my fill of it. So the rest of the trip, we're like, "Yo, can we get a McDonald's? Can we we were looking for they just opened up a Popeyes out there, which was like the most exciting thing.
Because they can eat chicken.
Yeah, chicken is everywhere.
Fried chicken's good. How was it? Clean?
We didn't get to Popeyes. It was too slammed, dude. It was like
it was a grand opening. Like In-N-Out was when they opened in Texas
I'm saying like
something?
this was like the first Popeyes in Chennai ever, and it just opened that weekend. It was like super duper slammed. And Adrian and I were like, "Dude, let's go get like a Popeyes chicken sandwich." And then we like went and we're like, "Dude, this is."
If I were you, I would have just walked in with a Jabberwocky mask and be like,
"It would have done nothing, bro. It would have done nothing."
You never know.
It would have done.
You might have gotten someone at least to let you cut it.
So the McDonald's in at least Chennai where we went was interesting. So everything that would be a beef patty is a fried chicken patty. So Big Mac,
chicken Mac or whatever.
Like a McChicken, freaking.
But with the middle,
So it was a Big Mac structured in the same way with the little bread in between, but it was like 2 fried chicken patties.
Same sauce?
I didn't get it.
That's not
I just looked too much for me. I was like, dude, I think that's gonna make me sick. But everything was on the chicken. Like there was no beef there.
That's so disappointing.
Veggie patties. The fries were disappointing a little bit, kind of stale.
That's really interesting because every McDonald's that I've been to in other countries, it's like the savior for me. It's
that's why we went because we were thinking like there's a consistency when you go to
McDonald's. You know where you're gonna. Actually, McDonald's in the States are probably the worst that I've had outside the States versus.
Yeah, I agree. I've been to McDonald's in Japan. I've been to McDonald's in Hawaii, Korea. So I was not impressed by the McDonald's in India, unfortunately. But oh man, dude, I wish I had tried this. At KFC, they had this thing called the chitza. It's a fried chicken patty base with pizza toppings.
Oh,
it just looked like a heart attack in a bite, but like it was just I put it in my IG story because I just thought it was interesting. But
no, I saw that. That's why I asked you. I was like, whoa, how was it?
Yeah, I didn't eat it.
No, it's interesting. Yeah, because like other countries, because I went to a McDonald's in Thailand and they had. I'm not a big teriyaki burger flavor on my burgers person, but I think that was like their special thing. But yeah, I definitely the McDonald's was a savior when we were in Thailand because man, when we went, I think what's the biggest thing is that
you guys didn't take advantage of all just like the bomb cheap Thai food.
So what the first night we went out, we went out to this, night market and this and that. We were like looking at this dish, this popular dish. It was like this pork neck soup or whatever, and had all kinds of, like onions and all kinds. It was really bomb looking, and we're like, oh, we're gonna get that. And then we literally went and we're waiting in line, and we see how they're cleaning the dishes, and they're literally using 2 buckets, and they're like, just dumping it, and then like literally not even washing it. They're just rinsing it like this, and this is the peak of like right when COVID started. COVID hadn't even come to California or the States yet.
Yeah.
Still in Asia. So I'm like, oh, what the freak, We still ate it, okay? We still ate it because we were like, dude, it's just so bomb looking, and we've been waiting in this line for like.
I probably ate it too.
And you know what?
It's a win in Rome
I wasn't
situation.
happy about it. I wasn't. We weren't feeling great when we started it, but at the end we were like, hey, it's great and everything tasted great. But after that, we didn't eat anything. We didn't eat.
Did you get sick?
No, we didn't get sick.
Okay,
we didn't get sick. We didn't eat any kind of. We didn't like venture out. We went to like places that were a little bit more Americanized. We went to like a 4-star like tasting menu thing.
Okay.
Which like, I mean, me and my wife, we always fight before tasting menus. So I don't know what's going on.
Why do you guys always fight?
I don't know, man. I think Vero just her mind just. She thinks like, oh, all the dishes are small and it's not going to be filling. So she's already in a bad mood. I don't know what it is. You can ask her one day when she's here, but that's how I feel. Like we just kind of avoid it. But yeah, Thailand was definitely a culture shock for us too.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, speaking of that, I mean, I feel like whenever you travel, you have an expectation. Right, you hear about how it is over there, and like you kind of have these like expectations, and then when you get there, you're either like really thrown off, or you're just like disappointed, or whatever it is.
Where was somewhere where you didn't expect it to be dope, but it was freaking dope?
Where I didn't expect it to be dope, but it was freaking dope. Maybe
because you travel a lot. So.
Maybe Brazil.
Ooh.
I didn't for whatever reason. Before I went to Brazil, I didn't have this like idea. Like I don't even think I had an idea of what Brazil was gonna be like. Because when did we go? It was 2000.
2005.
No. It was before that. I was still
2003.
It was like 2003.
And then 2004.
Because I remember I was at UCI still, or I was still attending UCI when we went, and I think I just expected it to just not be tight. But then I really enjoyed our time.
Yeah, it was dope.
The food was bomb. Like all the freaking churrascarias and all that.
Except that Chinese restaurant place. That was whack.
Oh, yeah. That was where everyone got food poisoning.
Don't ever get Chinese food in Brazil, people.
Wait, that's where we got food poisoning, right?
No, that wasn't. It was at another place. It was at another buffet that was like a Brazilian buffet.
But we all got food poisoning that time. Except
yes.
And you were so mad that she didn't get it.
We still talk about that story to her.
Oh, we're talking about it tomorrow.
Yeah, we're talking about it tomorrow.
No, man.
The best.
No, so I think Brazil was, it was a very pleasant surprise, and I think it was also just because like the people were dope, food was dope.
It was a pleasant surprise for me because it was the first time I saw Korean girls with booty. I was like, what the heck? Like, what's in the water here? Like,
Korean girls out in Brazil are different.
They're built different.
They are built different. I don't know if it's the water or if it's the
acai. Churrascaria, whatever.
It's the churrascaria plus the acai combo, dude.
Yeah, and the what's the green stuff? The green the chimichurri.
Chimichurri.
Oh, that's Argentina.
Okay, well they do have a version of that. Yeah. What about you? What's the place that you didn't think was gonna be popping, and then it was a pleasant surprise?
I think Japan for sure. Japan. I didn't think that it was gonna. It's not that I didn't think it was gonna be popping. I just didn't know what to expect.
You know what I will say? Japan, unfortunately for me, was a little bit of a letdown.
Really?
Yeah, because I think I had heard so much about it. So imagine this.
Who'd you go with?
I met Sean.
Okay.
Sean Evaristo. He was out there. But like first time out there, and that was 2014. So imagine this though. I'm looking at all kinds of like, Japanese fashion, streetwear, and this like, Pharrell, the Teriyaki Boys, Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Like, I'm just seeing all this stuff. So my expectation of Japan is gonna be like, yo, this is like the best place ever.
You're like, where's Bow Wow?
Right. I was just ready to see all of that. And I'm not gonna say, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this. I'm sorry, guys. So in 2014 was the first time I traveled to. Not wasn't the first time I traveled to Asia, but first time I went to Korea since I was an adult. I went to Korea when I was 2, so I don't remember that. So 2014, went to Korea, was out there for about 3.5 weeks, loved it. You know what I mean? I was like, dude, Korea's dope. You know, and I don't think I'm just biased because I'm Korean. Like a lot of my friends that travel a lot of them will say that out of all the places that they've traveled to, that Korea is their favorite. And these are like non-Korean people.
I also think a lot of it is because the Korean people know how to host like just guests, because Korean nightlife is so fun and like food is so great. Like there's always something to do. So,
that's true. That's true. I did a lot of good fun night stuff in Korea. So imagine going from Korea. So granted, okay, I speak Korean, so I'm able to get around and communicate, find my way around the place. But there's also like a lot of English-friendly things there. Yeah. Like a lot of people at least speak a little bit of English. And even like street signs or whatever, they'll have the street sign name in Korean, but then phonetically spelled out in English. So
which that's recent. It wasn't always like that. So,
okay, so by 2014, they already had kind of,
Olympics, yeah.
So yeah, they kind of changed that. So I'm like, oh, dude, if you're a tourist in Korea that don't speak Korean, you can kind of, figure it out. You can kind of make your way around. So I go from there to Japan. Japan is just everything's in Japanese. Nobody speaks English. Like, not a lick. And I'm not expecting them to. Like, here I am, freaking, like, American coming to their country thing. Like, why doesn't anybody speak English over here? Like, I'm not saying that they should. It's just a much more difficult experience as a tourist if you don't speak the language. Yeah. And this is before they had all these nifty apps with like Google Translates and like, let me, speak into your phone. And then this is before that. And so I was like, dude, I was just having a hard, and so I was supposed to meet a friend there, and he told me to meet him at like this train station or whatever. I land at the airport. I'm just like, yo, how do I get anywhere? I'm asking like, people for directions, and they're speaking Japanese to me, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy because like, what are you talking? Like, why don't you speak Japanese? Yeah, because you kind of. I look Japanese. I get it. Like I look Asian, so I'm like, they're looking at me like, why don't you speak the language? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't speak Japanese. So it was tough.
Personally, I like that. I actually am opposite, because when I'm in Japan and I'm like, where's this? And everyone's like, and then they call over someone else, and then they call over someone else, and then they all walk me to the destination. I feel like it's like a parade.
Are you even being walked to the right destination?
No, it's yeah, for sure. Like there are times where I would stop and be like, oh, like what's this? And they're like, oh, they would look and they wouldn't know, so they would call over someone else. And one guy would know one word in English, like oh, and then so it would literally like it would like snowball, and then by the time I get to, and they would walk me all to the place, and
well, that's
they probably talk shit on me while they're walking away. You know what I mean? Like they're mad talking shit about me, but while they're doing it, they're like, and I just feel so important when I'm in Japan. I love it.
So I would say outside of the language barrier thing, which is difficult if you don't speak the language, right? I mean, yeah, like Japan as a place is beautiful, right? And like clean, and like, dude, the food's amazing. Dude, I went to Yoshinoya out in Japan. Place is a whole other experience. Yeah. That's like a legit restaurant, Yoshinoya. They gave you a beef bowl, but like an actual glass bowl. They give you a raw egg that you crack into the bowl. I'm like, dude, this is legit.
It's the only place that like, I feel like it's one place that just like a weird appreciation for things kind of works as a business. Like we went to a owl petting like store. Like it was like a business that literally just, we walked in and it was just a bunch of owls sitting on like perches, and we just went and just petted all of them
for free.
No, we had to pay for it.
You had to pay to pet owls.
It was a petting zoo, like a petting zoo. But they have them. They have like ferret bars, and like they have like puppy bars and kitten bars and stuff like that. And
I think I saw a kitten bar, but it looked weird. I was like,
I wouldn't do a kitten bar. Why the fuck would you see a cat all over the place?
No, but it just didn't look like, it just didn't feel right. I'm like, I don't want to go
like
in
too
there.
Much around you.
It's not what I said. You can get in trouble, bro.
Yeah.
You might get in trouble.
Can we block that out? Because Vero wants to. I don't want to say that word.
Yeah, man. I mean,
no, look, Japan. One day we'll go back and we'll make it fun for you because
dude,
you gotta go back with the right
not
people.
Have fun.
You gotta go back with the right people.
Okay, and maybe times are different because 2014 was a long time ago, but yeah, it was an experience. I just enjoyed Korea on a different level, I would say.
I think I can live in Japan. I'd want to live in Japan. Like I would want to live in Japan more than Korea.
Why?
Because not my Korean sucks, so I'm not that any more Korean than, I would be Japanese or American or whatever. But I just feel like, I don't know, Korea, it's like, it's easy, like you go and it's hard. You know a little language. It's easy to assimilate and it's easy to thrive, right? And like everyone that I know that went to Korea, they're going there to get away from here because it's too hard here. Japan, I feel like...
Really? So you think it's easier to make it in Korea than it is here?
Yeah, for sure.
I think it depends
for a certain
on industry, whatever industry.
Sure, but what I'm saying is, like, for example, like someone who doesn't do anything with their skill here or whatever, they're, graduated from college, their degree, they can go in Korea and teach English, and they can make enough to live and, like thrive or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have friends that went over there that started teaching English just to get away from LA, and then now like one of my homeboys, like he has his own hagwon, like he started his own hagwon. Okay. So it's like,
what do you think then for our parents? Why do you think they wanted to leave Korea to immigrate?
During that time, America was the land of opportunity.
Is it not anymore?
I mean, yes and no. I think debatable. The coastal states, no. Like the coastal states are not gonna. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. But when our parents came, the coastal states were cheap. Like LA was cheap. That's why it attracted so many people. Now it's just like it's too expensive because all the rich people, Silicon Valley, they're buying up all the property and then they're raising the rent and stuff. So, and Hollywood and all that, like the glam of LA and New York. So yeah, I think if you go to like, Georgia or somewhere where the cost of living is cheap and you have a good business plan or a good business and you work hard, you can definitely, like I have friends out there that couldn't make it here in LA. They're living in Texas, like with a 3-bedroom house, so.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's definitely just really.
I would have left here and gone to Korea to teach English if everything, shit hit the fan and I was like, there's nothing here for me,
What kind of culture shock do you think our parents experienced coming here? Because I'm sure, I mean,
everything, language.
You said they came to the States because America's the land of opportunity, and I'm sure when they got here, it wasn't what it was all cracked up to be.
Yeah, but it was opportunities were a lot more. That's why they did better than us.
They made it, right?
That's why they did it. They did better than us. They're more successful than us, for the most part.
What did your parents do? What was their first job or
my mom, I believe she was a dishwasher or cook at a Chinese restaurant, and my dad was working at a I want to say, well, he had his architectural license, but in Korea,
did that transfer over here too?
No, okay. He had to go to school and stuff like that. So he did a couple of things. He did like welding.
Okay.
He learned how to weld and like.
Your dad's a pretty handy guy.
He is a handy guy, and that's what's so annoying about it, but. It's like so annoying, dude.
Why is that annoying?
It's annoying because he's like, oh, you don't know how to fix your engine of the car? Like,
has he ever taught you?
No, he says read a book. He reads a book. He reads this freaking book, and then like he knows how to do it. And I'm like, look, first of all, like, no one reads manuals anymore. We use YouTube.
You should be like, Appa, why don't you teach me, dude? Well, you already know it. Like,
yeah.
Are you handy? You're kind of handy.
I'm handy. He has taught me a lot. Like I would say. There's a few things that I didn't really pay attention to, but there's a good amount of things I learned from him. And so, yes, he is. And that's why I say it's annoying because he's good at what he does. He's a jack of all trades.
And does he expect you to also
of course,
be on par with him?
Of course.
Without him teaching you, though. He wants you to like.
He explains it. He'll like, oh, this is how you do it. And then he's like, you don't know how to do it? Because he's the kind of person that like you can teach him. Like,
oh, he gets it right away?
He'll get it right away.
Oh, okay.
And like, And I keep explaining to him that I'm like, hey, I'm not the same way, dude. Like,
Yeah.
And my mom got in a car accident with me when she was pregnant. And I told my dad, I was like, look, we can't rule out the possibility that
the accident
I have brain trauma. Like let's. So they've been so hard on me because I'm like, and sometimes.
And my mom dropped me when I was a baby too, man.
And they don't recognize that that's a part of.
My mom dropped me in a McDonald's, bro. I got dropped in a McDonald's.
That's why McDonald's held. So
that's why I love McDonald's. I don't know. Love, hate. I don't know what it is.
And that's another thing, we could talk about. Like, I definitely, and this is an argument that now when my dad would be like, why can't you get it? Like, why don't you understand? And I'm like, before I would fight back, I'm like, no, I do. And now I'm like, I might have brain damage. Like, we can't rule that out. But, that's another.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
But yeah,
our parents came here. They figured it out. My parents, dude. My mom worked in like a freaking assembly line.
Doing
I forget what was the company. It might have been for
like GM or something. Like
no. It was like, I think it was like this might have been when she, because I know my mom used to work for Pakasu, but I think that might have been in Korea or could have been here. Anyway, so she worked in an assembly line for something for a bit, and then they opened up a liquor store. I'm probably skipping some stuff that they did in between. They probably had a bunch of weird odd jobs. They opened up a liquor store out in the valley. They had that Corbin Liquor. It's still there to this day. Corbin Liquor was my parents. They owned that. And then, dude, yeah, they hustled, man. They went from that to like. My dad opened up a pest control in K-Town. Yeah. They owned like this produce market out in like Simi Valley. Dude, my mom owned a
with $800 coming to America,
right?
Or something,
it was pretty much like that. Yeah. And then my mom owned a Sizzler, bro.
What?
My mom owned a Sizzler in, I think it was like Simi Valley area.
That's dope.
And I just remember my childhood was like, because I loved clam chowder, fried shrimp, and cheese toast. I could have owned a Sizzler, dog.
That would have been the best.
And I just would go there, just get the clam chowder, fried shrimp, and cheese toast.
The oyster crackers?
Dude. And then a baked potato. That was like my jam.
So do you think now at our age, right? Like, we're a little bit older than our parents came here.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that you could just up and go into another country and start? Let's say like you got a job opportunity, right? Or someone's like,
if I were to have to leave like the States and go somewhere, man, I would have to just double down on what I got as dance right now. You know what I mean? I'd have to go. I think my go-to would be like, let me open up like a dance studio or something. And
I think what we should do is work. Let's just start, because you're the clout is there, right? The swag is there. You're Korean. Work on your Korean. Go to Korean school. Work on that. I bet you opportunities.
So, you know what? If I went to Korea, I think
you could do it.
I think like, even without like doing like Korean school, like, dude, my Korean being there for like 3 weeks, I'm not gonna lie, bro, it got pretty solid. My mom was impressed because I was calling her like all the time.
That's moja.
And then she. This is my moja.
Moja, dog.
Good job, dude. Good job, my moja. Dude, my mom was even saying, wow, your Korean's getting better. I was like, oh, mom, just because I'm out here in Korea. I'm just practicing my Korean every day. And so the big compliment that I got, so I was in a cab.
Who am I talking
to? The cab driver was asking me, so how did he put it? He said, oh, so how long has it been since you've been back? And I said, been back? And I'm like, oh, I'm not from here. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, oh, I'm from the States. And I'm saying all this in Korean. I probably will butcher it right now because I haven't been back in Korea, so my Korean's not as good. He's like, wait.
America 태어났어요.
He's like, so you're not from here? I'm like, no. He's like, where are you from? I was like, oh, I'm from America. And then he's like, how do you speak Korean so well? And I was like, oh, I mean, my parents just raised us speaking Korean. I only spoke Korean to my parents. And he was just like, wow, your parents are pretty impressive.
They don't even understand that. They don't understand that they didn't speak English. They only spoke Korean, so that's like, right. You know what I mean? That's they wouldn't that's so like, the culture is different.
So he thought that I was a Korean-born person that lived in the States, and now I'm back in Korea.
Yeah.
but it was like, obviously the opposite. Like I'm born in the States and I'm visiting Korea. And so I was like, wow, okay, so my Korean's getting like pretty solid out here. So if I lived in Korea, I think I could, my Korean
I could
step
too.
up, dude.
I figured how to do it. You just have to say it, start loud, and then go gradually down. It's like 여기요, 뭐주세요.
야, 모자.
여기요, 밥 주세요. And then they're like, pop, and then they respond like, yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta have the confidence. You gotta have the
bass.
bass.
You gotta have the confidence.
The bass in your voice. Yeah.
밥을 한 입 주세요.
So you know what's funny, dude? You're the most Korean, non-Korean speaking guy that I know, dude.
Don't tell me, everyone fooled.
You're like very convincingly Korean.
Look, I actually speak fluently. I just make it seem like I don't.
That's a big lie. Yeah. That is a gigantic lie.
I have to read menus when I go out with friends and stuff and tell them what it says and stuff. I don't want to do that.
What is it about Korean culture that? Because I remember we've had this conversation where I was like, Ryan's like one of the most Korean, like non-Korean.
Like,
dude, you are though. Okay, I remember it was this. It was like your like oppa 형님 like behaviors are very strong.
Yeah, I mean that's
you
just
play the oppa hyung card pretty hard.
It was about power and respect.
What do you mean power? Wait, because I remember you said you didn't grow up with like a lot of Koreans. You didn't.
I didn't. I grew up. So I didn't grow up with a lot of them, but when I got exposed in high school, the ones that I did were very Koreanized, like Korean super KP, like call me Hyung, this and that and this and that. So it was like, and I never really did that. It was like more of like when it was the dynamic of Tongseng and Hyung or whatever or Tongseng and whatever. It was like it was just kind of, I don't know. I like the brotherhood of it, like the brother being a younger brother of someone, even though we're not blood.
So like the familial aspect of it.
Yeah, and I like that.
Everybody's
I like that.
Family. So you kind of like looking after.
Yeah, I mean, I call more people Hyung than I call my own Hyung. I never call my Hyung, like my own blood brother Hyung.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's just.
That's true. I guess there's like kind of a, like there's like a camaraderie, but more than just like friendship. It's kind of like, oh, if someone calls you oppa, you feel this almost like, not a responsibility, but more of like, oh man, I want to look out for that.
Yeah,
one.
for sure.
Like,
and that's the thing when I did that, and whenever I was like, oh, this is you're my Tongseng, I'm a Hyung, and then I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Oh, what's up, Hyung? And then, but when the shit hit the fan and I needed backup or something, they were there, and I'm like, okay.
So that's
where I'm like, okay, thank you, Hyung. You know what I mean?
Right. I feel that.
Like especially with like Hyung, like I love him so much. I love him, respect him so much, and the thing about him is like, if I felt uncomfortable in a situation, I call him and be like, hey, I'm in a situation, there's a bunch of guys like kind of staring at me and I'm trying to avoid them or like not paying attention, but they're like being aggressive. And literally as I'm talking,
his phone just shows up on his phone.
He's literally running and I'm like, literally like, okay, hung up. Like 20 seconds later, he's like another place in K-Town telling his friends like, I gotta go, I gotta leave. And he just, not even giving me an explanation, he just runs, bounces, comes to me. The one time he did that, he had a Superman shirt on.
This fool just rips his shirt open. I was like,
whoa, you really came through. And that's where I was like,
funny,
you know what,
dude.
I got to do that for my Tongsengs,
So you got Superman shirt underneath there?
I got the...
Oh, you got even better, bro. Come on, you got that Chosun Taiga.
Check out Chosun. You know what I mean?
Sponsored by Chosun. Thank you.
So yeah. So, I mean, like, it like the whole Hyung, it's weird. I feel guilty sometimes not calling my brother it, but he knows I love him. I love you, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, Steve doesn't call me Hyung either. I think that'd be kind of weird.
Sometimes he refers to you as Hyung, though. Like,
he's never called me Hyung before. I think it'd be weird if Steve called me Hyung. We just didn't grow up like that. I don't call Patty Nuna, like none of that. It's just
that's true.
We're raised a little different.
Well, you know what though? He has said something like, oh, but right, like he said, like you and Ben, like you guys are my Hyungs, like you're my Hyungs, like best friend, like when he gave me shit about the wedding, like that was like what he led with, So.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he did call you. Yeah, he refers to you as Hyung. So.
I mean, yeah, me and my brother, like, we got a good relationship, but that wasn't like until we got older, until we were both adults.
That's the most important part in the time, you know.
Yeah. Well, dude, man, I just feel like I don't know. We kind of got into this rabbit hole of like culture shock, dude. I mean, yeah, India was it was a trip, and
no food poisoning. That's good.
no food poisoning.
No food.
No, I ate a lot, man. I freaking gained a lot of weight, dude. I'm like I said, there's just a lot of like carb heavy meals out there, and I was just like, whatever, dude. I'm just gonna when in Rome this thing, and but no, man, I'm back, and happy to be back and healthy in one piece, dude. I was jet lagged for like a freaking week, bro. Like I just could not regain my my normalcy in terms of my sleep schedule, but I think I'm kind of back now, so yeah, man, here we are, dude.
Did you get into the sleep schedule over there right away?
No. So the reason why, you know what is weird? I didn't even adjust while I was out there. I was literally getting like 4 hours a night.
Ooh.
Max. Like, and even within those 4 hours, there would be like a wake up point after like 2 hours. I'd go to bed like at like, let's say I go to bed at midnight, I'm waking up at like 2. And I'm like, what the freak? And then I like try to go back to sleep, toss and turn, and then I'll like wake up at like 5 or 6, and I'm just like, all right, I'm
bro. When you go to like trips like that, especially if you're at the time change, you'd be down to take some gummies, like sleeping gummies, because there's these weed ones that very light in weed.
You've given me gummies before, dude. They don't work.
No. But these ones are actually made for like adults who don't. So okay, so the market is right. The market of edibles are like suburban home, like moms that don't try to smoke weed. They don't want to drink like wine every night. So they actually made ones that are like light in weed but have a little bit of melatonin in it, so it helps you just fall asleep. So I actually have friends in Texas that I send some to here and there, like, or no, not send. They come here and I give it to them, and then they love it, and they're not smokers, and they're not like, oh, they wake up groggy or anything. It's just enough to just make you doze off.
All right, before I go on my next international trip,
I'll get you some.
I'll get some gummies from you.
Yeah. I think it's almost like just melatonin gummies with like 3% like THC in it.
Because you gave me a gummy last time, and I think that might have been after I came back from somewhere too, because I was having trouble sleeping, so you gave me one. I took it and it didn't do anything. I think I just have some weird body chemistry. My tolerance for everything is just too high.
It's anything. If your body's not used to it, you don't know how to like what to expect. So you're like, for me, it's like once my brain gets into that, I know, and I just knock out easy. So I got you, bro. I got you.
All right. Well, speaking of travels, you're about to head out to Mexico.
Yeah.
About to go to what, Cancun?
Yeah.
Celebrate what, Valentine's, or what are you doing?
Just get away. Just to get away. Yeah.
Right,
just to reset me and Vero.
All right.
Need a trip, you know. We haven't fought in another country in a while, so.
Why you talking about fighting, dude?
Because that's a part of marriage, dude.
That's horrible.
No, it's not. That's the thing.
I mean, yeah, like that happens, but it's not like it's like something to be celebrated and look forward to.
It was a joke, man. It worked really well with my married friends. I don't know.
How about we like put the no fight juju out there?
Dude, I want the no fight juju.
Let's make that happen, bro.
Hey, you're talking the wrong half here. No, she just.
I hope Vero don't listen to this episode.
She, you know what? She needs to listen to this because hangriness is not.
Hey, bro, I get hangry too, bro. Everybody gets hangry.
Hangriness is no excuse. No excuse. There's no excuse. You're this old. You know when you're 3 years old, 4 years old.
You just gotta always have snacks on you, bro.
And you know what? I realize that. I'm starting to realize I might need to just have like a travel bag for Vero. Dude. Maybe like 1 or 2 like seltzers. You know, like some snacks.
Yeah, keep a White Claw.
Yeah, White Claw.
Put some beef jerky.
Beef jerky. Yeah, for sure.
Dude, my backpack.
A vape. Yeah.
My travel backpack always has snacks in it, cause I get hangry. And there's also that like weird occasion when you're on the plane when the food service is not coming around when you need it. That's why you got to jump into the bag into your reserves, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely. I think I'm learning that a lot of the times we fight is when she's hangry. But now it's like though, before I used to be like, why are you getting angry? Like blah, and I would get mad about sure getting angry. Now I'm just like, okay, what do you got food? You got to talk about like I just like.
So you know what I think? You guys got to be problem solvers for each other. If you know what her problem is, solve it with some food. Don't combat it with like, why are you being hangry? Because that's not gonna help
I
it.
know. I'm learning. You're absolutely right. That's why snacks, dude.
Snacks,
Lunchable, like snack packs.
Yeah,
like
have a little
peanut butter snack pack.
fanny
dude.
pack of snacks, man. Just gotta carry it on you.
That is some of the best advice I've ever gotten.
I already know what I'm gonna get you guys for like every gift. I'm just gonna give you guys.
Just give me like a diaper bag, but like like for like adults.
Like a holster.
Like a holster. Maybe you get like a baby Bjorn for her. Like she could sit in it while I walk around with her. Like she doesn't even have to walk anymore. That's.
And then just you got snacks loaded.
Yeah, dude. You gotta give her a baba right here. It's like easy. Dude, man.
You're giving me a lot of great gift ideas for you guys. Well, man, have a freaking great fightless Cancun trip.
Yeah, we're not gonna fight. I'm just.
You ain't gonna fight, and we'll get an update because we'll
probably fight once at least.
No, dude, stop saying that. That's negative, dude.
It's good.
Negative.
That's it. One is great. One is great. One is great.
How about none? None's better. None's best.
Young blood, you don't know young blood. You know how these streets are, okay?
Nah, dog.
There's women out in these streets are wild these days.
Nah, dog. You gotta put it out there. Be like, you know what? We're gonna have a great time. Get along perfectly. I'm gonna have my snacks on deck. No hangry.
Nah, for sure. I'm gonna get the snacks. But you're right.
We're gonna do a check-in with you.
Yeah, well, I'm flying in.
Yeah, by the time you land, we're recording our next one.
Yeah.
So we're holding ourselves accountable now. It's recorded. It's on there.
Minute.
They're watching.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep you in check.
Yeah, no, and I'm gonna have some stories. Hopefully.
We're gonna have a lot of stories. We do have a lot of stories between this guy and myself, and we can't wait to tell more. Yeah. And man, we're in this Conversations pod. You know, I don't even know.
Hopefully, it's interesting, right?
We just went all over the place today.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about travels and stuff, and well, I guess culture shock, right? That was kind of like where we're at, but. Folks, thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in and bearing with us as we talk about a whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
Hope it's entertaining and hope you guys are still there. But if you guys are still there, thank you. And we're live, dude. We're all up on every single streaming platform, right? We're on YouTube. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this.
Yeah.
Subscribe,
please
like
comment.
us.
Let us know if we're
comment. Hop onto iTunes, leave us a rating. 5 stars is the only option you can give us. And thank you guys.
Yeah, love you.
Bye.
Peace.